Welcome to the world of science fiction where the impossible awakens. Legends are born, and every journey reshapes destiny. The city was dead. Tall metal towers stood broken under a dark red sky. Smoke moved slowly through the empty streets. Warning, lights flashed without sound. This world was not meant for humans. A human man ran between fallen walls. His breathing was heavy. His clothes were torn. Blood was on his arm. He did not know how he came here. Minutes ago, he was hiding inside a crashed ship. Now, alien alarms were screaming around him. The ground shook under his feet. Something was hunting him, above the ruins. Strange flying machines moved like insects. Blue lights scanned the streets. A cold voice echoed in an alien language. They were searching for something very important. The human did not understand the words, but he understood the fear. Every instinct told him to run, so he ran. He turned a corner and stopped suddenly. 3 alien soldiers stood ahead. Tall bodies, pale skin, glowing eyes. Their weapons pointed forward. The human stepped back slowly. A loud signal rang from the sky. One alien shouted, "The mail signal is close." The human's heart froze. Before the aliens could turn, a small hand grabbed the human's wrist. A sharp whisper touched his ear. "Psst, you're a man, right?" He turned in shock. An alien girl stood beside him. She looked young compared to the soldiers. Her eyes were bright and nervous. Her clothes were simple, not military. "Do not speak," she whispered. She pulled him hard, toward a broken wall. The human had no time to think. Alien weapons turned. Light flashed behind them. They slid through a narrow opening. Metal scraped his skin. The wall closed behind them. Darkness swallowed the sound of the city. They ran through a tight tunnel. Only small lights guided the way. The human stumbled. The girl held him steady. Her grip was strong for her size. Finally, they stopped in front of a large metal door. She placed her hand on a glowing panel. The door opened with a deep, heavy sound. Warm air rushed out. The human stepped inside and froze. A huge underground space opened before him. Rows of lights lit a massive hall. And everywhere he looked, there were alien women. Hundreds of them stood in silence. Some were sitting, some standing. All eyes turned toward him. The door closed behind him with a loud lock sound. The human felt small. Fear wrapped around his chest. He realized he was the only human here. And the only man. The alien girl stepped forward. Her voice shook but stayed clear. "I found him outside. He is human." A tall alien woman moved closer. Her face was calm but serious. "For 1,000 cycles. We searched, and now he stands here." The human tried to speak, but no words came out. He did not know their language fully, but he understood the tone. Another woman whispered, "So fragile. Is this really him?" The human clenched his fists. Humans were weak here, or so they thought. The alien girl looked back at him. Her eyes showed fear and hope together. "I saved you," she said softly. "But you must listen." She pointed to the ceiling. A low alarm began to pulse. Red lights mixed with white ones. The bunker reacted to danger. "The surface is no longer safe," she said. "They are hunting males. All males." The human finally spoke. His voice was rough. "Why?" The women looked at each other. Silence filled the hall. Then the tall leader spoke again. "Our world is dying." She stepped closer. "Our men are gone. War and science destroyed them. We survived." The human felt the weight of her words. He understood now. Why he was hunted. Why he was saved. "You are different," the leader said. "Human, you are hope." Outside, a distant explosion shook the bunker. Dust fell from the ceiling. The alarm grew louder. The alien girl grabbed the human's arm again. "They are close," she said. "You should never have come here." The human looked around at the 1,000 faces. Fear, expectation, doubt, all waiting on him. He did not know this world. He did not know these people, but something deep inside him awakened. Humans survived Earth. Humans survived war. Humans survived extinction events. And now, in a bunker under an alien city, humanity was being tested again. The leader raised her hand. "Lock all gates," she ordered. "Protect the human." The heavy door is sealed. The bunker lights dimmed. And the human realized one truth. This was no rescue. This was the beginning of something far bigger. The heavy doors closed behind him. With a final metallic thud, the sound echoed through the massive bunker like a warning. The human's heart pounded in his chest. He could feel the eyes of 1,000 alien women on him. Some curious, some cold, some quietly angry. The alien girl led him through a long corridor. The walls glowed softly with pale blue light. It smelled of metal and machines. The human noticed strange symbols etched on the walls. Symbols he could not understand. Finally, they reached a large room at the center. It was circular, tall, and filled with strange devices. Some hummed quietly. Some flashed lights in unknown patterns. Aliens moved around, speaking in low voices. The human could not follow the language, but he understood fear in their tone. The girl turned to him and whispered, "This is the heart of the bunker. This is where we survive." He looked around. Rows upon rows of alien women trained like soldiers. Some were scientists, working with machines. Others seemed older, wiser, and all of them watched him. The last human male on their planet. The girl led him to a small chamber in the corner. "This is yours. For now," she said, The door slid open to reveal a simple room. No furniture except a small cot. He felt a strange mix of safety and fear. He had nowhere else to go. No allies, no escape. That night, he could not sleep. The bunker was alive with quiet hums and distant voices. He thought about the aliens outside, the soldiers that hunted him. The city above that burned under red skies, and he thought about why they wanted him. The girl returned quietly. She brought a small container of food. He noticed her hands shook slightly. She was brave, but scared too. Do you understand why they need you? She asked softly. The human shook his head. He could not imagine it. Why would they want a single human man? She sighed and sat beside him. Our men are gone, she whispered. Long ago, a war and a strange sickness wiped out all males on this planet. The world tried to survive without men, but we cannot. She looked into his eyes. You are the only one left who can change everything. The human felt a weight crush his chest. Hope, fear, responsibility, all mixed together. He wanted to speak, to run, to fight, but the girl's eyes held him still. She leaned closer. You must trust me. The next day, he was shown the bunker's secrets. Rooms filled with technology he could not name. Alien women training with weapons unlike anything on Earth. Rooms where they experimented on genetics, trying to create life without men. But every attempt had failed. They needed him. But the truth scared him more than anything. Some women watched him with curiosity, others with suspicion. The tall leader from before appeared, her presence commanding the room. Human, she said, her voice cold but not cruel. You are not here by chance. You are our key to survival. The human swallowed hard. He could feel the tension in the air. Some women whispered behind their hands. What if he refuses? What if he is dangerous? The girl who saved him noticed his doubt. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Not everyone here is your enemy, she said softly, but some are, and they will try to control you. Suddenly, alarms rang out, sharp and urgent. Red lights flashed through the bunker. Surface scanners detect human activity, shouted one of the scientists. The human's stomach twisted. He understood. Now his presence above ground had been noticed. The hunters were close. The tall leader's eyes narrowed. Prepare the gates, she ordered. Ensure the human does not leave the bunker again. Machines moved like clockwork. Doors sealed. Defensive barriers hummed to life. And the human realized he was not just a prisoner. He was the most important being on this planet. That night, the girl returned to his room again. Her eyes were bright, restless. Do you know what they plan to do with you? She asked. The human shook his head. I am not sure, she admitted, but you are more than a key. You are also a weapon. Outside the bunker, he could feel that something was coming. A strange vibration ran through the walls. The air seemed heavier. The alien women in the hallways moved with silent urgency. He did not yet understand their technology, but instinct told him danger approached faster than before. The girl sat next to him again. Do you want to survive? She whispered. The human nodded. Then listen carefully, she said. The world above is not safe, and some of the women here may want to use you for their own power. Her voice trembled slightly. But I will help you. The human realized he had to think, not just run, not just hide. He had to learn this world, learn the women, learn the secrets of the bunker, and somehow, survive. The next morning, he was called to the central hall. The air was thick with tension. Women stood in rows, whispering. The tall leader stepped forward. Her glowing eyes scanned him carefully. You will face trials, she said, to see if you are worthy, to see if you can survive here. The human's pulse quickened. He did not know what these trials would be. But one thing was certain. This was no ordinary test. And every woman in that bunker waited for the answer. As the doors closed behind him, he felt a strange thrill, fear, yes, but also something else, something he had not felt in a long time, the chance to prove himself. And deep inside, he knew, whatever came next, it would change everything. The human was no longer just a survivor. He was now the center of an alien world's future, and the trials had only just begun. The central hall was quiet, but the silence was heavy. The human stepped forward, feeling every pair of eyes on him. The alien women did not move. They did not speak. They only watched, like predators waiting for their prey. The tall leader raised her hand. Today, the trials begin, she said. Her voice echoed through the hall. Human, we will see if you are worthy of our trust. The human swallowed hard. His stomach tightened. Trust. Worthy. He did not understand everything, but instinct told him this was life or death. The first trial was physical. The human was led to a large arena. Walls high and smooth, almost impossible to climb. Obstacles of strange metal structures twisted in confusing patterns. He glanced at the aliens watching from above. Some whispered, fragile, can he survive? He took a deep breath. He had trained on Earth. He had survived dangers, but nothing like this. The human ran forward, jumped over gaps, climbed slippery walls. He felt pain in his muscles, but he pushed through. Every step he took shocked the alien women. They had never seen a human move like this. The girl who saved him stood at the edge of the arena. Her eyes wide, she cheered silently. Keep going, she mouthed. You are stronger than they think. Finally, he reached the top platform. Sweat poured down his face. He was exhausted, but the alien leader nodded slowly, not with approval, but with something else. Respect. The second trial was mental. The human was led into a chamber filled with glowing panels. Lights flashed in confusing patterns. Symbols he did not understand filled the walls. The alien leader explained, "You must solve the puzzle in time, or you will fail." Failure, he realized, meant more than death. It meant losing trust, losing survival. The panels flashed faster and faster. Alien symbols rearranged themselves. The human focused. He noticed patterns, shapes that repeated. His human brain processed them. Logic, intuition, observation. He pressed buttons, twisted levers, step by step. The puzzle began to yield. The aliens whispered among themselves, "Impossible. Humans cannot." Finally, the puzzle stopped flashing. A deep hum filled the room. Lights glowed green. The human had solved it. For a moment, silence. Then the tall leader's lips curved into a tiny smile. A small acknowledgement, a recognition of human cleverness. But the trials were far from over. The third test combined mind and body. The human had to navigate a labyrinth filled with traps. Some doors would slam closed. Some floors would fall. Some corridors led to dead ends. The girl warned him, "Be careful. Some women want to trap you." The human nodded. He had learned quickly. Not every ally in the bunker could be trusted. Some women whispered behind the leader's back, scheming, watching, waiting for him to fail. He moved carefully, every step measured, every turn calculated. He noticed tiny hints, small scratches on walls, patterns in the floor, signs left by those who had survived before him. He began to see the labyrinth not as a trap, but as a puzzle to solve. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time seemed meaningless in the maze. His muscles ached, his mind raced. Finally, he reached the center, a small room filled with strange devices. The girl appeared at the doorway, smiling. "You did it," she said. Her relief was clear, and so was something else. Admiration, but the moment of success was short. A sudden alarm blared, louder than anything he had heard. Red lights flooded the labyrinth. The walls began to shake. Dust fell from the ceiling. The human froze. The girl grabbed his arm. "They detected you," she whispered urgently. "They are coming to capture you again." From the corridors, sounds of movement echoed. Alien soldiers were closing in. The human realized the trials were a test not just of strength or intelligence, but of courage under pressure and survival against impossible odds. He ran, twisting through the corridors, dodging traps, leaping over gaps. The girl guided him, sometimes pulling him, sometimes pushing him. Their pace was frantic. Every second mattered. Suddenly, a wall in front of them began to close. He could see the sharp edges coming down fast. He dove forward just in time, rolling across the floor. The girl caught up. Together, they reached a hidden chamber, a place no one else seemed to know. The human leaned against the wall, panting. Adrenaline burned through his veins. The girl looked at him. "You are not like us," she said. "Not fragile, not weak. You are something else." The human realized the truth of her words. All this time, he had been underestimated. The aliens thought humans were fragile, weak, easy to control. But he had survived trials they designed to break him. He had outsmarted traps, solved impossible puzzles, endured pain and fear. And something deep inside him shifted. Pride, courage, the will to fight. HFY humans are stronger than anyone expects. But even in victory, danger was not gone. The alarms still blared. The leader's voice echoed over the bunker speakers. "Prepare the defenses," she said. "Human activity detected, and he is inside our walls." The human looked at the girl. Fear and determination mixed in their eyes. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "Your trials are over. But our world is not safe." Outside the bunker, dark shapes moved above. Flying machines patrolled the skies. Sensors scanned the ground, and far beyond, in the ruined city, the hunters were preparing, waiting for the moment to strike. The human knew one thing clearly: he could survive, he could fight, and he could prove to these alien women that humans were not weak. Humans were a force of nature, and whatever came next, he would face it head-on, because this was his trial, and he would not fail. The bunker trembled. A deep vibration ran through the metal walls. Alarms blared like the cries of 1,000 lost souls. Red lights flashed violently. The human's heart pounded faster than ever before. This was no test. The girl grabbed his arm, pulling him toward the central hall. "Get ready," she shouted. "The enemy knows we have you." The human looked around. Hundreds of alien women ran through corridors, some armed with strange weapons, others manipulating glowing panels and shields. Chaos reigned, and above it all, the sound of flying machines thundered. The enemy had arrived. The tall leader stood at the center. Her eyes narrowed. "Human," she said, "you must help us survive." The human swallowed hard. He had survived trials, puzzles, traps. But this was different. This was real battle, real death. And the stakes were higher than he could imagine. Outside the bunker, shadows moved like predators. Hovering ships glinted under the blood-red sky. They fired energy beams that struck the outer walls. Metal screeched and twisted. The ground shook violently. Dust and debris filled the hallways. Women screamed and shouted. Some hid, some fought bravely. and the human realized immediately, this was war. The girl grabbed his hand. "We cannot survive with your strength alone," she shouted. "They are too many, too fast." The human took a deep breath. He thought about Earth, about surviving against impossible odds. Humans had done it countless times. And now, it was his turn. He ran toward a control panel. Panels he had never touched before. Alien symbols flashed across the screen. But he noticed patterns, similar to the puzzles from yesterday. He pressed buttons, twisted levers. A hum ran through the bunker. Energy shields rose around corridors. Doors locked automatically. Traps activated, blocking enemy paths. The human was improvising, leading the defense with instinct and logic. The alien women watched in awe. Some whispered, "I cannot believe he is controlling the bunker." Others gritted their teeth in fear. "Do not trust him," one said. "He is only human." But even the leader's eyes widened slightly. She did not expect this. Outside, the attack intensified. Energy beams shattered outer walls. Machines crashed and exploded. Some alien soldiers fell. Others fought back desperately. The bunker shook violently. Alarms screamed louder than ever. The human realized the enemy had brought reinforcements. And this was no ordinary raid. This was a full-scale assault to capture him. The girl stayed close. "Follow me," she shouted. They ran through twisting corridors, dodging, falling debris, evading alien soldiers sent to trap them. The human noticed a side door, small and narrow. It led to the central defense system. A bold, risky move, but it was the only chance. He pushed the door open. Panels and levers stretched before him. Energy conduits hummed like a living creature. He understood immediately, this room controlled the bunker's defense systems. With the right moves, he could turn the tide. The girl watched him, her eyes wide. "Do not fail," she whispered. "And remember, some here may betray you." For hours, he worked, pressing panels, redirecting energy flows, tricking enemy sensors, using tactics humans had developed for war on Earth. He created traps that the aliens above could not predict. Missiles misfired, drones collided with each other. Enemy soldiers were caught in their own traps, and slowly, the tide began to turn. But then came a shocking moment. From a hidden corridor, one of the alien women stepped forward, her eyes cold, her face hard. "You are wasting your time," she said. "This human is only a tool." She activated a hidden override panel. Suddenly, part of the bunker defenses shut down. Enemy soldiers poured in through the opening. Chaos erupted again. The human froze for a second. But then he remembered his trials, his human strength, his cunning. He pressed buttons in rapid sequence. The room glowed violently. The intruder was trapped in a cage of energy beams. She struggled but could not escape, and the enemy assault slowed again. The tall leader appeared at the doorway. Her eyes met his. "You are remarkable," she said. "But this is only the beginning. They will not stop," she warned, "and soon, they will find another way in." The girl looked at him, her face serious. "They are close," she said. "They want you alive, but as a weapon, not as a human." The human understood immediately. This was the hardest choice of all. If he fought only for survival, the aliens would control him, use him as a tool, a key to their power. But if he acted wisely, he could gain their trust, and perhaps turn the fight in their favor, or even escape to save himself entirely. The enemy above roared again. Energy beams tore through outer walls. Explosions shook the bunker violently. Dust filled the air. The human and the girl moved toward the central hall, where the remaining women watched in tense silence. He took a deep breath. He looked at the tall leader. He looked at the girl, and he made a choice. Not as a prisoner, not as a tool, but as a human. He would fight, not for them, not for the enemy, but for survival and freedom. And in that moment, the bunker itself seemed to hum with anticipation, as if it sensed the human's decision. Outside, the sky burned red. Flying machines hovered, ready to strike. Inside, the corridors trembled. Women held their weapons. The intruder who tried to betray him struggled in her cage. And the human, heart pounding, mind racing, knew the battle was far from over. But for the first time, he felt in control. The next move would decide the fate of the bunker, the fate of the alien women, and perhaps, the fate of the human race in this distant world. And somewhere deep inside, he smiled slightly. For humans had survived worse, and he was just getting started. The bunker trembled under the weight of chaos. Outside, the enemy ships hovered like predators above a cage. Energy beams ripped through the outer walls. Metal screamed. Sparks flew. Yet inside, the human stood calm, breath steady, mind sharp, ready to face the storm. The girl held his arm tightly. "Are you ready?" she whispered. He nodded, not because he had a plan, but because he had no other choice: survive, or everything would be lost. The tall leader appeared, her expression unreadable. Her glowing eyes locked on him. "You may be the key," she said slowly, "but if you fail, we all die." The human's gaze met hers. For the first time, he realized something. This was not just their fight. It was a test of humanity itself. The human ran to the central control chamber. Panels flashed, levers hummed. Every system in the bunker was at his command. He remembered the puzzles, the labyrinth, the trials, every trick, every instinct he had learned. and now, he would use it to defend not just himself, but the lives of thousands of alien women who depended on him. Outside, the enemy's attack intensified. Machines rained fire down on the bunker. Walls buckled. Alarms screamed. Some alien soldiers fell. Others fought bravely but could not hold back the tide. The human's mind raced. He spotted a pattern in the enemy movement. They relied on speed, numbers, and precision. But humans had unpredictability, chaos, improvisation, courage. He pressed levers, activated defense systems. Doors slammed shut behind attackers. Energy nets trapped machines in midair. Automated turrets fired with perfect timing. The enemy was stunned, unable to adapt. Inside, the women watched. Awe and fear mixed in their faces. Some whispered, "He is controlling the battle. He is more than we expected." The girl stayed close. "Keep going," she urged. "I know you can do this." Hours seemed to pass in minutes. The human led the defense with cunning and courage. Every attack met a counter, every trap planned with precision. And slowly, the enemy began to retreat. Machines exploded, ships fled. The skies grew quieter, the red light dimmed, and the bunker survived, battered but unbroken. The tall leader approached the human, her face unreadable. But her tone had changed. "You are remarkable," she said. "Not a tool, not a weapon. You are a human. And today, humans proved they are more than we believed." The human finally allowed himself to breathe. Relief mingled with exhaustion. The girl smiled, her eyes bright with admiration. "You did it," she said softly. We may survive because of you." But even in victory, the danger was not gone. Sensors detected enemy reinforcements in the distance. The city above still burned, and the universe outside was vast and hostile. The human understood clearly this was only the beginning. That night, he walked through the bunker corridors, watching women tend to their wounded, repair machines. Some approached him with caution, others with respect. The leader spoke again. "We must make a choice," she said. "You can remain here, serve as our protector, our key to survival, or you can leave and risk everything beyond these walls." The human thought carefully. He had survived trials, puzzles, battles, betrayals. He had learned the strength of these alien women, and he had discovered the power of humans. Not strength alone, not numbers, but creativity, courage, and will. "I will not be a tool," he said finally. "I will not be controlled, but I can help. If we work together, not as master and tool, but as allies." The leader studied him. A long pause filled the hall. Then she nodded slowly. "Very well," she said. "We will try your way and hope it is enough." The girl smiled, relief shining on her face. "You are one of us now," she said, "and we will fight with you, not against you." The human looked toward the ceiling, toward the distant city, toward the stars beyond. He understood his role now, not just survival, not just battles, but hope. Hope for humans, hope for aliens, hope for a future together. A new plan began to form. Alliances with the women, defenses improved, messages sent to Earth, and a warning to anyone who might threaten this fragile peace. For the first time, the human felt a strange thrill. Not fear, not panic, but purpose. And deep inside, he realized humans had survived wars, extinction, and chaos, because humans did not give up, and humans never stopped fighting. The girl stood beside him. "Do you think Earth knows?" she asked quietly. The human shook his head. "Not yet," he said, "but maybe they will." And somewhere, far above the ruined city, enemy scouts fled, carrying word of the human who had survived impossible trials, a human who had turned the tide of war, a human who was more than they ever imagined. The tall leader turned to the human one last time. "You have changed everything," she said, "and perhaps you have changed the future of our world as well." The human nodded. For the first time, he felt hope, not just for himself, but for an entire world, and for humanity's rise among the stars. The bunker was alive again. Machines hummed, women worked, and above them, the sky was no longer just red, it was full of possibilities. A future waiting to be written, and the human knew, whatever challenges came next, he would face them, with courage, with skill, and as a human who refused to be underestimated, because this was only the beginning, and humanity had just begun its rise. In a world where humans are nearly extinct, one man becomes the last hope for survival. Psst, you're a man. Alien girl pulled human into bunker of 1,000 women. Is a thrilling HFY Sci-Fi story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Follow the journey of the last human male as he is pulled into a massive underground bunker filled with 1,000 alien women, each with their own secrets, fears, and agendas. Trapped in a world completely alien to him, he must survive deadly trials, outsmart cunning enemies, and prove that humans are stronger, smarter, and more resilient than anyone could imagine. Experience the suspense, mystery, and action as this lone human navigates a society that has survived without men for centuries. Will he earn the trust of the alien leader, survive the relentless attacks, and become the symbol of hope for a dying world? This story is packed with unexpected twists, HFY moments, and cinematic suspense that will keep you watching till the very end. perfect for fans of science fiction, human supremacy stories, and thrilling interstellar adventures. Don't miss this epic tale of survival, courage, and humanity's resilience. Watch now, and immerse yourself in a sci-fi world unlike anything you've ever seen.